God bless you and good morning, family and friends, on this faithful day. It's been a minute since I talked with you and sat with you and we pondered together in this room, but here we are today, glad for it. Yes, many things have gone on, come and went and come again. But here we are today, and we're grateful to the Lord for it on today. I'm excited about what God is in completely and continue to do in our lives on today. And I wanted to center rather around the thought, it's forever. Sitting here thinking to myself, a songwriter that mentioned that forever is a long time. That's how much I'll love you. There are a lot of things in our lives. We may go on that roller coaster of life, but when God establishes a thing in your life, it's forever. There are things in your life. If you've met that perfect one of the things you think about when you first bond, engage, then get married is this is going to last forever. On occasion, life lifes us and it does not last forever, but there are some things that do last forever. For those of you that have kind of went through the waves of time, that have moved through the seasons of life, you've learned that there are some things that are forever. There's some relationships that will last into a life, last for a lifetime. I got a notice, a text message from one of my spiritual daughters that I met, had to be 1988, 89, and we've been bonded ever since then. I mean, I remember vividly we were getting ready to leave Hawaii and she and I sat at the top of my stairs outside. We lived on the top floor, on the second floor rather, of a duplex there. And we sat and we talked about that transition and us leaving. Neither of us wanted to part each other's company. But I am grateful to the Lord that the Lord saw fit and chose for us to remain friends, to remain mother and daughter, so to speak, in the Lord all of this time. And here we are now. She wrote me a note this morning. She calls me Big Mama Pen. I often used to talk about those big mamas in my life that taught me, those women who cultivated my life, that poured into my life. And my God, most of them have died off and left the scene. Yes, indeed. And now she calls me that in her life as a stabilizing force. During that time, we were very young, 26, 27, or even younger. Years of age, and now look at God this much time later, out of nowhere, she lifted my spirit and said, "You know, I need you to know, and I just wanted to write you and tell you, you're one of those examples in my life that have been a forever stamp, so to speak." Those are not her words, but she mentioned those things to me, and oh my, how it encouraged my heart. I know I'm in every place this morning, but I have so much I want to share and say to you about life as I'm learning it and as we are getting through it and going from day to day to day to day. Wow, she loved on me this morning out of nowhere. Love on somebody just out of nowhere. Those that mentored you, gave you encouragement, even love on them. Send them a love note just out of nowhere. Because that relationship, it's been decades, it's been years, that's forever. And I love them forever. I will. There are a lot of people I've encountered throughout my life, never seen them again, never talked to them again in different places. We were stationed in the military, but I love them forever. And I'm grateful to the Lord that I had an encounter with them and our lives crossed paths. There are many that have gone on to be with the Lord, but I was still in my heart of hearts love them forever because you know it doesn't take much for me. I'm a big crybaby. I'm a big bear when it comes to a loving, and my children and others say, you love so hard, and wow, you make it easy. And so I'm grateful. Listen, it's forever. When God establishes a thing, establishes a relationship, establishes things. And then sometimes these relationships might get broken in the midst. If you have children that are involved in a broken marriage or anything like that, listen, you may not intend to be connected to that individual, absolutely no more, and parted on difficult times or notions or whatever, not so good. But guess what? It's forever. Because if you've got a child in the mix, even if something happens tragically, even in that, you'll still connect it. Listen, treasure forever. Treasure those things that God establishes in your life. Appreciate them. I'm grateful to still have my mother around. My father, long gone. I miss him. He'll be forever. Hallelujah. And all of those that, whose path we've crossed. I've got some enemies. They'll be forever. Not forever an enemy, but that impression, that encounter, the things I've learned, the confrontation, for me, I'm learning in this phase in my life. I'm in that almost 63 club now. But I will appreciate God for everything. I'm getting teared up now, but I am grateful for all of the encounters. Learn how to embrace the encounters in life. Learn how to embrace and how to listen, how to share, how to pour out, how to encourage. I encouraged my 16-year-old granddaughter this morning. The hour daily bread lesson. Like I say, this is me from not being on in a while and all of that. So here it is. I encouraged my 16-year-old granddaughter this morning. I sent her a text. I know she's in school. I know she won't get it until after school or whatever. But Cammie, I call her New, because when she was born, I was right there in the room with my son and his wife, my daughter. And when her head started crowning and all of these things, I was like, New, 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 New. This was a new thing, our first grandchild, all of those things. And so since then, she's been known to me as New, N-U, New. I spelled it different. But for me, she knows when I say, hey, New, she knows that's grandma calling me. And so I shared with her and encouraged her even this morning, because our daily bread lesson for that Morning Glory Love Line dealt with sitting with suffering. And there was a time when New was maybe 2 years old, and I had been with her and resigned from my job since she was 6 weeks old. So she had grandma to herself as her teacher, because I was an early childhood educator at that time and resigned from working in that field. So it was she and I. But about the age of 1 or 2 years old, I can't remember exactly, it was in there. She was walking and able to walk to me. I went through a horrible thing. Like I say, I'm tearing up, getting a little emotional. So let me get myself together. I went through something very harsh in my life. And today's lesson reminded me of her and what she did as a little child. Today's lesson in the daily bread lesson is entitled Sitting with Suffering. And talking about Job, how his friends in the very beginning, he was suffering and going through so much that all they could do was sit with him. The gift of presence is so valuable. And that little 2-year-old child will come in the morning to her grandma's house, where I kept her and watched her all day while mom and dad worked. And she would walk into the room where I was, and I'd be sitting on the floor, just weep, just crying. Just sometimes when she'd come in, I'd kind of suck that up and act like nothing was wrong. But children had that sense. She would walk right over to grandma, crawl up in my lap. I was sitting on the floor, and I had just got done bawling or crying over the situation. She'd walk right up to me, crawl in my arms, lay her head on my shoulder, and for a good minute, just sit there and pat grandma. She didn't say anything. I mean, what could she say? She had no clue what was going on. And she would just pat me. And she does not know how that gift of presence and just embracing me at that time and not even having a clue what I was going through and battling through. It was hard for me at that moment. But I texted her this morning and said, New, you helped grandma through a process. And thank you. I love you forever. For that moment. She will never remember what that was all about. But I wanted her to know that you have shared in a moment in your grandma's life. You will never understand what that meant. But the lesson today brought it back to my remembrance. And I'm grateful for that. So share those moments. Even if you're dealing with a relationship that is kind of rocky at the moment, remember the good times. Remember those moments when you were there for each other. Remember those times when they did come to your rescue. Remember those times when you were there. Remember those times. And I believe, I'm not going to guarantee you that everything will be healed, dealt with, finished, or put back together. But sometimes, like Jeremiah stated, sometimes it's good when you recall some things to your mind. When you think about it, sit down and just think about it. You'll be surprised the results that come out of it. It'll give you a sense of gratitude, a sense of appreciation, and all of those things. And you'll remember. It's good to have good memory when it comes to that. It's forever. When God establishes a thing in your life, it's forever. I love God for being a forever God for me. I'm at the age and phase in life now where God, I have no desire to turn around and look back at anything else. All I want to do, even if I have to have tunnel vision on you, I'll have tunnel vision on you and serve you all of the rest of my life and love on not just those who love me, love on anybody that I encounter and love them hard enough to where they see the love of Christ on the inside and ask and want to know what impacted my life, what turned that switch on for me, why do you go so hard after him? Why is this your life living? Why would you give any and everything just to serve and to love on others and win souls? And why is that so critical for you? I would love for my care and concern for them, or just being there for and with them, bring them to that conversation, and I would love to share it. I love God and I appreciate him because it's forever. The blessings of the Lord, family, that make us all rich, add absolutely no sorrow to us. Always remember that I love you with the love of the Lord. He loves each and every one of us so much better. Blessings to you on this day. I've enjoyed sharing with you. There'll be more times we'll get to share. Listen, have an awesome weekend this weekend. Trust God. Find the good in those things and people around you. Look for it. If you look for it, you'll find it. Blessings to you and have an excellent weekend in God. Blessings.